A few months ago, I had the incredible experience of producing a short film about the southern resident killer whales in the Puget Sound near Seattle with my good friend, Chris Fisher. You can now watch this short film, so be sure to stick around till the end of the video to see where I have it posted. We got in late to our Airbnb, but we still needed to prep all of our gear before the morning, just in case we got the call that killer whales were nearby. So we just got to Friday Harbor here on San Juan Island for a little show that I'm doing on killer whales, southern resident killer whales. Getting all of our gear prepped here. I'm with my buddy Chris with the All Around Project, and we are doing some gear prep for our shoot for this upcoming week. For the next 4 days, Chris and I would be on standby, waiting for an opportunity to film these amazing orca with the Center for Whale Research. There's always a bit of troubleshooting when it comes to gear, especially when combining resources between Chris and I. Alright, so the gimbal didn't really work with the G2, just was a little too long, and the balance didn't work out so good. So on to plan B, which we've pretty much figured out now. We're going to use tripod on the boat, which is not ideal, but we're going to film it in 120 frames per second, which gives us a little bit more flexibility. We'll slow the film down a little bit and give us just that extra added little bit of stability on that. So because the gimbal didn't work, we actually decided to go handheld instead of the tripod before we went to bed. Alright, so it's the morning now. Got all our gear prepped and ready. We're just about ready to head over to the Center for Whale Research. Gonna meet our biologist there. His name's Dr. Weiss. And then we're basically on call this week in case orca come in the area. And then we're heading out on the boats. But we're all prepped and ready, and we hit the road here now. So, if you ever get the chance to visit Friday Harbor on San Juan Island, be sure to stop by the place that says Orca Survey, which is run by the Center for Whale Research.
Fish using known-size objects in the frame.
However, we were meeting Dr. Weiss at the actual research facility itself.
Tend to be so. A full-grown killer whale in a flat-out sprint is much faster than a Chinook. What the Chinook has on its side is maneuverability. It can turn corners much faster than the whale, especially these big, bulky adult males with their...
It was fascinating learning from Dr. Weiss about the hunting techniques that southern resident killer whales use to catch Chinook salmon. Alright, it's day one of the shoot. We are headed out to look for a place to launch the drone to get some aerial photography here in Friday Harbor. No tours or any on the water moments today, and basically the whales weren't in the area, so we didn't have anything to film, but it's pretty much just a down day relaxing, so we're headed out to get some drone footage to help tell our story. So it's supposed to rain a little bit. Later that day, as to not waste a filming opportunity, we headed to an area to launch the drone to capture aerials of the islands. Alright, so we just got this place, gonna launch the drone. We just had to make sure that there's nothing that says that drones aren't permitted. Didn't see any signs that suggest that we cannot launch here. So after a careful check on the signs posted at the park and checking our aerial navigational maps, we launched the drone. The San Juan Islands, in my opinion, have some of the most stunningly beautiful areas in all of North America. It didn't take long until we spotted a cute little harbor seal in the bay in front of us, who was curious about our drone, so we kept our distance as it investigated us. With only 4 days to shoot and capture the story we needed to tell, we needed to be very focused and intentional about getting the shots that would tell our story visually. So in order to tell a story about orca, you need to not only get footage of orca, but the environment they live in and around. But since we don't have underwater gear for this shoot, it's about capturing the scale of the area, the water, and footage that places the audience in the scene itself. All right, so I just wanted to jump in real quick, taking a moment here to just say thank you guys so much for supporting this channel over the years. Every single one of you guys who engage, who give us that thumbs up, who leave comments below in the comment section. I read every single one, by the way, and I do comment and I respond back because I really truly believe a community of engaged people that support nature and that love nature is a community that can really truly make a difference. That's my main mission. In the last year, I've actually launched a brand new organization called Real Earth Films, and that's REEL, like a film reel. And I've been putting a lot of time, effort, and energy into growing this nonprofit organization to really focus on producing more wildlife documentaries and films to truly change the world. And it's my passion. It's what I've really enjoyed diving into over the last couple of years, which is also why this channel hasn't had a lot of videos in the last couple months. So I'm going to change that, however, because we have some new projects coming and I want to get back out into the field, obviously, to film these projects. But more importantly, every single one of these films I put on YouTube, I do that on my free time, on my spare time, on the side from actually producing the documentaries that I work on, whether it's for the BBC or Nat Geo, etc. Those projects are amazing. They're going to be coming out in the next few months here, so keep your eyes out. I will let you guys know. But I'm really excited about showcasing more behind the scenes stuff like this, and I would love to have your support in helping me make that possible. So to be able to do that, I've launched this new thing, Patreon. You might have seen that in the past in some of my videos, but Patreon allows me to be able to produce these films at a higher level, which gives you guys greater content and the ability to enjoy these films and these stories even more. So if you want to head over to my Patreon channel at Filming the Wild, you can see I have exclusive access to some content in there that you can only get on Patreon. So I'm going to be engaging more insights, more in-depth knowledge about filmmaking, the process of filmmaking, even some like actual stuff you can work on if you're looking at becoming a filmmaker yourself. All going to be exclusively on my Patreon channel. So if that interests you, there's a link in the comment or in the description below. Please go ahead and take it out, take a look at it, join and become a fellow patron on the Patreon channel. I think for like $3 a month, basically, you can sign up to get the exclusive content that's going to be on there. So consider it like having a coffee with me, one-on-one. And actually, I would love to do that. If you join up on Patreon, let's set some time. Let's have a one-on-one. Let's talk about nature. Let's talk about wildlife. So, anyways, just wanted to say that. If you like this kind of stuff, the behind-the-scenes footage and stuff, I really want to elevate and go to that next level, but I'm going to need your support to do that. So go ahead and check out that Patreon channel. Go ahead and give a like to this video too. Every like, every comment really helps boost the metrics in YouTube to showcase these films to more people. Oh, and this film that we're working on in Southern Residents, you can check that out on realearthfilms.org as well. Just go to our film section, you can see it's called 75, The Story of the Southern Residents. So with that, let's get back to the video. This is day 3 of the shoot. First 2 days were kind of a bust, no orcas. This morning, however, that all changed. So J-Pod is actually currently offshore. Chris just bolted out the door with kind of a mad dash scramble this morning to kind of get everything ready to go. But Chris is out right now with the Center for Whale Research. I'm about ready to head out to the harbor to jump on a little whale watching tour.
My heart was racing. All of the planning was coming together, and getting out on the water with reports of orca in the area was exhilarating. And then they appeared through the mist. Having no gimbal for stabilization on a rocking, moving boat proved incredibly hard to film, especially at 600mm handheld. But it was still one of the most incredible experiences of my life. Little did I know that Chris was going to get an even better experience.
So I just got back from a really awesome morning out with a Maya's Legacy whale watching tour company. Really good folks, Jeff and April. They're fantastic. Highly recommend them. But got 2 encounters with some transient, or actually big orca this morning, this afternoon. A little winded because it was pretty awesome. Just kind of huffed it back up here to the Airbnb where we're at.
Chris is, I believe, still out with the Center for Whale Research. Had a really good opportunity this morning with the Southern Residents, which is what the whole story is about. So he's been out on the water with them, doing aerial and drone photography. The work that they're doing is very important because it looks at the social behaviors and dynamics within the Southern resident population. So they're putting, the researchers and scientists are putting drones up above them to see what takes place down below. So really, really fascinating, and Chris is documenting that whole process for me. So they can only allow one person on the boat, so Chris is our camera guy for that. He's off doing that. I've been basically getting supplemental B-roll footage, and oh, what a morning. What a morning. There was fog at the first sight, and the transients were just kind of moving in and out of the fog. It's like what dreams are made of. It's pretty awesome. Hopefully the footage turns out okay. It's really hard hand-holding on a moving boat that's pitching back and forth in the water. So yeah, so hand-holding. My arm's a little tired from that, but man, awesome morning. Got a couple more days in the shoot yet, and then we're head back. So successful day on my end of things. Hopefully Chris has got some good footage.
Every day, Dr. Michael Weiss and his team at the Center for Whale Research check the whale reports, and if the southern resident killer whales are in the area, they quickly get out onto the water to begin their research. They use drones and other cameras to identify individual whales and can check the ongoing health of each individual. The main reason I set out to produce this film is to raise awareness about the critically important issues surrounding southern resident killer whales. To put it bluntly, this endangered population of orca is starving. Unlike other orca that eat marine mammals, southern resident killer whales primarily eat one prey item, and that's Chinook salmon. Chinook salmon populations have been crashing across the Pacific Northwest, due mainly to overfishing and nearly impossible odds of reaching the streams they historically spawn in, and in some cases, having to traverse 6 or more massively imposing dams in their way along the Columbia and Snake Rivers. So the odds are stacked against this imperiled population of killer whales. At the time we were filming this story, there were 75 southern resident killer whales left, and as of this video being released 10 months later, there are now only 74 remaining. This is why I do what I do. These orca need your help. I can make a beautiful film about them, but it does nothing if people like you don't get involved. This is why I'm inviting you to head over and watch the film itself. And please, take a moment to support our efforts to not only make a longer film, but also so we can directly support the organizations and researchers who are fighting every day to save these endangered orca. As our days came to a close, we captured a few more aerials to ensure we had enough footage for the edit that was coming up. If you've enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe to this channel, and leave me a comment in the comments section below. Oh, and don't forget to join me over on Patreon for more exclusive behind-the-scenes content. This area holds a special place in my heart, as the ocean, the land, and the people who live here all share the same heartbeat, a pulse that connects all of us to the very essence of nature herself. Even the people who have lived here for thousands of years refer to the orca as our people that live under the sea.